Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video, I'm going to review to you Awkward Season 2. Now, I know with Awkward Season 1, I reviewed it the day after I saw it, because I was just very eager to watch. With Awkward Season 2, though, I stretched out the season. I didn't watch it. It took me well over a few days to watch this. And, overall, though, Awkward Season 2, just like Season 1, is fantastic, and the characters are still great. I do have a couple problems with it. There were a couple episodes that were better than others, but there is some stuff that I didn't like, and that I thought was kind of silly. But I will say, in terms of the first season, the second season is a lot more dramatic. That's the one thing I'm going to say. This is the most dramatic season of Awkward. I have a feeling Season 3 Part 2 is going to be even more dramatic than this. I mean, I can't tell you how dramatic this season gets. Season 1 is very lighthearted compared to this. Season 1 was lighthearted, but this is not very lighthearted. It's done in a silly way, but it's still very dramatic, and, you know, there are some crazy things that happen. So let's just get to the season. Of course, one of the things that we know is, just from the cover, the whole season, Jenna's dating Jake, but does she still have feelings for Maddie? That's the whole season. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole season of her trying to figure out, does she really want to stay with Jake, or does she still have feelings for Maddie? And, that's pretty much, yeah, that's what it is. So, first off, Jenna and Jake. I like them. I do. I like them together. Yes, they're not, like Jenna and Maddie. They haven't known each other as long. But I like Jenna and Jake. I think they're cute. Okay? The one thing that I thought Jenna and Maddie didn't have, that Jenna and Jake have, is that Jake is very nice to her. He's much more a down-to-earth person. Maddie's just a very fun-loving guy. And, that's the thing. Jake, though, I like them together, okay? That's one of the things I liked. I do like Jenna and Maddie now. I just didn't like Jenna and Maddie in Season 1. I thought Jake was a much better person in Season 1, and I was very happy that she picked him in Season 2. So that was a really great thing. So that's the first thing I'm going to say. Second thing I'm going to say is that there's a whole new storyline with Maddie's character. Maddie is pretty much trying to find new love, and the first person he ends up, being close to is Sadie. Sadie, all of a sudden, and this was honestly very weird. The season premiere was very strange. I'm not saying it was bad, it was just strange. But she basically starts to have feelings for Maddie, and she thinks she's had feelings from all this time, pretty much. It's weird because it's out of the blue. And so she kisses Maddie, and she finds out that that's not who she likes. But then with Maddie, he then tries to find new love, and he finds this girl, and it's for a very short period of time, but yeah, so he finally does find someone. But one of the recurring themes of the season is that he's always tagging along with Jenna and Jake. And that episode, honestly, was one of the best episodes of the season. It's called Three's a Crowd. I highly recommend that episode. That's one of the funniest episodes of Awkward. It's very funny. And I really enjoyed that episode because I'm sure a lot of people, I mean, of course Maddie would do that. And, yeah, so at this point, though, Jenna doesn't really think she's back with Maddie and focusing on her relationship with Jake. So yeah, that's pretty much what she's trying to do, and trying to just abandon her relationship with Maddie. It does get crazy, though, with her and Jake. Why? Because Jake never knew that the girl that Maddie was dating, that the girl that Maddie was heartbroken over, was Jenna. And one of the things that I love, that I've always loved about the show, is Jake and Maddie's friendship. It is a lot stronger and more self-evident, I think, in here than it is in season 1. Season 1, we saw traces of it, but season 2, really, we get to see more of their more of their friendship as a whole, and how strong their friendship is. I mean, they can't, there's an episode where they're basically very upset, but they still are their friend, they'll always be friends. And again, season 1 did show a lot of it, but season 2 really showed more of them as friends, and I really did enjoy seeing that. And basically the thing is, though, that Jake did not know that the girl that Maddie was rejected over was Jenna. When Jake finds this out, he breaks up with her. And this was after Jake had told Jenna, "I love you," and Jenna had only said, "Awesome." She replies with "awesome," and then she decides to tell him. And then we get a cliffhanger on that episode. So basically what happens with her is then he realizes that he was a jerk and he goes back to her. Then things get crazy because she's with Maddie. I don't see the problem here. I don't. Why does Jake get so upset about Jenna and Maddie? Yes, I understand that it was not right for somebody, I understand that if Jake and Jenna were still dating, that wasn't right, but Jake and Jenna had broke up. So why was Jake so upset about her and Maddie kissing and him trying to help her out? I don't understand that. And you know what, that's one of the things that turned me off about their relationship and made me think their relationship wouldn't work, because I mean, he gets really upset over something that's really not that bad to be upset over. He really should not be upset over that, and I think that was kind of silly, but I did enjoy seeing Jen and Jake together, for that short period of time. Then after that episode, she pretty much is torn between the two of them, and that's why you see this picture here. Because then she's torn between Jake and Maddie. While this is happening, though, one of the storylines I really like later in the season that occurs, and this is what makes the show a lot more dramatic, is her trying to think that maybe fixing things will be, if she fixes everything, she changes her blog from private to public. This ruins a lot because people start calling her a slut and all this crazy stuff, and it just gets really crazy from there. And that was one of my favorite episodes, was the one where Jake and Maddie fight over Jenna, because it definitely is not something you expect to see, and that's how dramatic it gets, really. It's not, like, funny either. It's definitely a huge fight, and it's crazy. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. In the end, though, I did really like the episode where they had the do-over. That was probably one of my favorites of the season, definitely. It's in my top 5 awkward episodes, because that one was really funny. Once Upon a Blog, highly recommend that one. That's a great one. But, she ends up picking Maddie. Here's what I don't understand. Why is she upset that Jake is looking for other girls? Why is she upset about this when she's picked Maddie? I mean, Jenna was very negative in the season finale, and I didn't like that. The season finale was good, but because of Jenna being so negative Nancy throughout the whole thing, it really threw me off, because even though she's picked Maddie, and they're happy together, why is she upset that she didn't pick Jake? That's what I don't understand. And that's the only thing, really, that I thought was stupid, was that we had that going on. I really did enjoy the way it ended, and I'm happy that Jake and Maddie got together, not Jake and Maddie, but I'm happy that Jenna and Maddie got together. So yeah, that's what happened there. Now I understand, why the relationship happened. How in season 3, I didn't think they had a lot of chemistry? Now I understand why. Now I understand why she picked him over Jake. Because if I had not seen season 1, and then I saw season 2, I wouldn't understand why she picked, if I had seen season 1, and then I skipped season 2 and went to season 3, I wouldn't understand why she picked Maddie over Jake, because Jake just seemed like a better guy. But in this, Maddie has really matured, and he's much more into Jenna. He acts much more like he's into her, and he doesn't try to avoid her, and it doesn't have to do with his popularity status anymore. And that's pretty much what it has to do with it at this point. So now let's get to Tamara, who really, Tamara has a lot to do this season. Most of what she has to do this season revolves around Ricky Schwartz. And the thing with Ricky Schwartz is that she of course is now not single. She's single now, and she's trying to get over Ricky Schwartz, who she's not sure if she's over. Then things start getting crazy. Her storyline was definitely the craziest, I think, besides one other characters, which I'll get to. But, you know, her storyline, I liked it. I thought it was a cute storyline. In the end, though, she ends up with Jake, and I really did enjoy that. Her storyline, though, with Ricky Schwartz, it was silly, but, you know, Tamara's still my favorite character, and that's why I love her character so much, because she's so funny. And, you know, this Tamara, we know Tamara, and that's what her character is. And I think that's what makes her so great, is moments like what she does in Season 2. It sounds really silly, but it's really funny, and it's definitely a really good plot. So then, speaking of Jenna's friends, we're going to go to Ming now. Ming has interesting storyline. In Season 1, she basically was there to be Jenna's third wheel. You know, she had storylines now and then with, like, her parents and stuff, but it wasn't really that big. Season 2, Ming really develops, and when I say really develops, she has a lot of character development in that now I understand the whole thing with Becca and Fred Wu. Now I understand. Becca was introduced this season. I thought Becca was a new character in Season 3, but she is introduced this season, and at first she's really nice to Ming and everything, and it's really creepy. And now I understand the Asian Mafia as well. That's not as confusing anymore. The Asian Mafia is basically a clique in school for Asians. So that's pretty much what the Asian Mafia is. It's a clique in their school. But she starts dating Fred Wu. And Becca, basically, this is when Becca started to go against her. Because she gives her this cheat sheet for this quiz, math quiz, and everybody does well except for her. It's I don't remember what subject it was, but it's a quiz, and everyone does well except for her. She gets a B. And so that's kind of crazy, but she does end up, and her storyline ends kind of sad with Fred Wu. He has to move to another school to stay away from Becca. Now I understand Ming's storyline better. Basically, the whole thing with the other guy in Season 3 was supposed to be like her backup boyfriend, pretty much, so that way Becca would not come after her. And that's pretty much what it was, and I really enjoyed her storyline. Honestly, it was weird, but it was definitely a very good storyline. It's silly for the most part, but it's sad at the end. You know, it's sad to see them split up. I like seeing Ming happy, and I really enjoyed her storyline, so it was good. Next character I want to talk about is Sadie. Sadie and Lissa. We'll go by both of them. First, let's go to Sadie. Sadie's storyline is pretty interesting this season. Sadie is still, you know, the same kind of bitchy type of character that she was in Season 1, but she definitely develops more in Season 2, and that she's not there just to be mean. She actually has a big storyline that has to do with Ricky Schwartz. Ricky Schwartz starts to like her, and she thinks it's going to go far, and when she really likes the relationship, he dumps her. And that is why Ricky Schwartz ends up getting killed. Now I understand perfectly why Lissa was the one to do it. Because Lissa was in the middle of all this, and she basically probably wanted to protect Sadie. That's pretty much why Ricky Schwartz ends up getting killed. So I thought that was great, and I just really liked her storyline. Basically with her, Ricky Schwartz wants to pursue a relationship, she doesn't, and then she does, and then he goes against her. With Lissa, though, I really enjoyed Lissa's storyline this season. I really thought she was a really good character, and she definitely is still hot this season. Lissa's probably one of the hottest characters on this show. So, with Lissa, though, Her storyline I really like. Now that Jenna and Jake are dating, she tries to basically become friends with Jenna, and I really enjoyed this. At first, you don't really know if it's real, but then you see how she kind of wants to go against Sadie and be more with Jenna. And she does some really nice things for Jenna. She actually tries to calm down Sadie for her. The one thing I didn't understand, though, is why was she so upset about her? You know, with Jenna, she tried to become friends with her. They kind of abandoned that storyline, though, later in the season. And I was enjoying her storyline of her becoming friends with Jenna. It was a nice storyline. It was cool to see Lissa being nice to Jenna for a change and not going with Sadie and going against her. I liked seeing that, but that didn't happen. But then they kind of abandoned that, and I thought that was kind of silly. But overall, I really enjoyed their storyline. And then the only other people I want to talk about are Jenna's parents. Jenna's parents actually have a really good storyline this season, which have to do with them pretty much separating. And it's because Jenna's father finds out about her mother writing the letter. And when he finds out, he basically is furious and they split up. And there's this guy that she knew, and Jenna thinks that she's going to start this relationship with him, but it turns out that she just wants to be friends with him, and her mother and her father do end up getting back together. So I like seeing their storyline, though, because that was a very good episode when she basically turns to God to try to, because she's so upset about her parents splitting up. So that was definitely a really good episode, one of my favorites of the season. So yeah, overall, I really did enjoy Awkward Season 2. I thought it was different from Season 1, in that Season 2 definitely does not have as many random episodes, and it does have this really big recurring plot, and that's pretty much my review. So let me know what you guys think of Jake and Jenna. Do you like Awkward Season 2? Which is your favorite season of Awkward? Did you like the whole thing with, with Maddie trying to find another girl? And did you like the Sadie's plot? Did you like that Lissa tried to become friends with Jenna? Just let me know anything else you want to know about Awkward Season 2. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys next video. Okay, bye.